Hi everybody, how are you? This is Kevin from drkevguitar.com. I'm a guitar teacher and musician here in Paris, France, and this is another of my 5-minute video guitar lessons. Today, I'd like to talk to you about bar chords. Now, this lesson is not going to be an introduction to bar chords, so I'm assuming that you already have some idea of how bar chords are supposed to work, how they're supposed to be constructed, etc., where your fingers are supposed to go. What I'd like to talk to you today is about how we can improve your bar chords, because as you all know, when we first start playing bar chords, it can be quite difficult to get the clarity of sound that we're really supposed to. So let's take a look at that, all right? The first thing to realize with bar chords, as you all do, I'm sure, is that the first finger seems to have the bulk of the work to do. The first finger is the one that's doing the barring. It's the barring finger, and it's the one that's trying to hold down all of the strings at one go. Particularly on acoustic guitars, that can be quite a task. Steel string acoustic guitars usually have quite heavy strings, so it's really quite important to make sure we have enough pressure happening with the first finger. But half of that has not to do with the first finger, it has to do with the thumb, because the thumb and first finger work best when they act in a pinching action. If the thumb is in the wrong place, either too high or too low, or too far to either side, it's robbing your first finger of strength, okay? The best way to solve that problem is really to put your first finger in exactly the same position that most classical guitar players do, and that's to say, right on the center line of the guitar neck, okay? Get your thumb right into the center line of the guitar neck, and then let the first finger come in, all right? You can adjust your thumb position a little above or below the center line as you need to. Find a position that works well for you and is most comfortable. Now, speaking of position, let's look at the first finger, the barring finger itself, okay? As some of you will have found out, every so often we'll end up in a position where the string might land right under one of the creases of the joints of our fingers. And that can be uncomfortable, and it can be difficult to make that string sound properly. Part of the solution to that is pressure, and part of the solution to that is the position of the first finger in terms of whether it's high up above the fingerboard here, the tip of my finger, or low down, okay? High and low. Getting that first finger position just right is really very important to making sure that we have enough pressure underneath our finger so we can hear every note of every string correctly. Now, when that's done, we get the other fingers in place. And again, this is where the position of the first finger, high or low, matters. If the first finger is too low, we end up with the problem sometimes that the low E string can't play properly. You hear that? We don't want to hear that. And also, when the first finger is too low, it means that these fingers are coming in at a sort of a low grazing angle to the strings, and these fingers are very likely to be touching the strings that are underneath them. Sound. That's not what we want. If, conversely, the first finger is now too high, well, you can see how much motion changes here at my hand. Just moving my finger higher, the wrist comes forward. If the first finger is too high, it's going to be hard on the wrist. The wrist is going to be very strongly bent. And also, it makes it difficult for these fingers to get in place. So we're looking for that not too high, not too low, just Goldilocks right position for the first finger. All right? Once we've got that, it makes the job much easier for the other fingers. The other fingers do apply a little bit of pressure, which helps the first finger. So, as I said earlier, when we're looking at the first finger on its own, don't get too upset if you can't hear every note exactly as clear as you'd like. When we put the other fingers in place, they take care of some of the pressure that we're doing as well. Now, here's a little exercise that I like to do with my guitar students that will help you a lot, all right? And also it'll help you build up the strength and stamina that you need in your hands. G7, thumb, pick whatever you like, and we're just going to play very slowly, one note at a time. And we're going to do it slowly enough that we have a chance to listen to every single note. Just like that. If we get the result we like, we move, we switch position, and immediately go to a new place. In this case, I'm on the 5th fret. This is an A7 chord. That I just keep moving. And it really is very important that you listen to every note, Okay? Tick them all off mentally in your head. Yes, 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 and then move on. Okay? Listen for every single note. Now, if you make a mistake on one chord, don't worry about it too much. Continue on to the next one. If you make a mistake on that chord, stop. Take a look and see what's happening. All right? One mistake at a time is no problem. 2 or 3 mistakes at a time, definitely stop and take a look at it. What I don't want people to do is to spend a long time trying to juggle their fingers into position. We don't get a chance to do that when we're actually playing real music. It has to work straight away. So, as I said, if you make a mistake on one chord, doesn't matter, move on to the next one. If you make a mistake on that chord and the chord after, absolutely, you stop. Look at your finger position. Think of the first finger. How high or low does it have to be? Is your thumb in the right place? What are the other fingers doing? Are the other fingers touching strings somewhere that are making them dull or stopping them from ringing correctly? Fix that problem. And when you got it right, think about how that feels. Okay? Try to remember how it feels. Then take your hand away from the fingerboard. Start the exercise again. The great thing about this exercise too is that in moving swiftly on to the next chord and the next position, it gives us a chance to get used to the idea of moving our hand and fingers as a unit up and down the guitar neck, okay? And that will speed up the process of learning to play the songs that you want to play, because our hands will get into position faster, cleaner, and more accurately, all right? So there you go. I hope you find this useful. I find that with some of my students, it really improves the clarity of their bar chord playing enormously, and some of them have really been astonished at the difference that it's made, even in just the space of a week, if you have the time to practice it. Whatever you do, if you have any pain in the back of your hand or in your forearm or your wrist, stop, go away, do something else, play something easier, and then come back to it, okay? There's no point hurting your hands or your muscles. You can do that. It'll only set you back. Good luck. Enjoy yourself. My name is Kevin, drkevguitar.com. If you need a guitar teacher in Paris, France, give me a call. Love to talk to you. Take care. Bye-bye.